welcome to this video. In this video we have a cracker for you. Over on our sister channel, Boffix Tax Tips, we've just released a brand new calculator for all you budding businesses out there. I won't steal too much of the thunder from that video, but I'll link it here. That video gives you the opportunity to find out how much taxes you should be saving on a regular basis. And the idea is you answer 5 questions. With those 5 questions gives you an estimate to put away. Now that's all well and good, and that's something over at Boffix they do in a much more detailed format. So if you're a client of Boffix, you actually get these calculations and these get put into QuickBooks. But that got me thinking, why should Boffix clients be the only ones to get the benefit of that feature? Why don't you get it as well? So join me on this video here. I'm going to give away some secrets of how Boffix works in the background, and we're going to make sure that your business, your QuickBooks license is going to be telling you how much tax you need to save for so that you're not caught out at the end of the day. Stay tuned.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it starts, when it starts. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me.
Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick and I am a chartered accountant, a certified trainer with a fancy new logo, and the QuickBooks chap, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, you knew that already, and also an owner of an accounting firm called Boffix. Now we talk a lot on this channel about how saving for taxes is really important. Let's be honest, when it comes to business, nothing hurts more than that tax bill itself. But it only hurts if you're not prepared for it. It only hurts if it comes as a shock. If you're prepared for it, if you understand how much it's got, or better yet, you've saved too much money for that tax bill, then it's not quite so bad. I know tax is always painful to pay, but when you've actually got that money saved away, and you actually have less to pay than you've saved away, actually can start feeling better for yourself. But how can QuickBooks help? Now, QuickBooks is all designed about making it easier for you. It's all about making your life easier. It's about making sure that you are feeling supported. Get taxes done. They say it all of their adverts, all their website, all their PR. It's all about get taxes done. And that's great and that's wonderful. But you still need to have controls in place to be able to make sure that you can get it done right. Now again, the video over at Boffix Tax Tips gives you the tool to be able to understand exactly what your tax figure should be, at least give you an estimate. But the question is, what do I do with that estimate? What can I do to make it so that it's really easy for me to understand what my tax position is going to be? That's where we're going to jump in now. Let's see how we can use that free tool and QuickBooks and be able to make sure that we're supported for our business. Let's have a look. Okay, so anyone who hasn't seen the tool yet, it's in front of me now. Again, have a look at that video to understand exactly what it means. But you can use this tool in conjunction with QuickBooks. So if I jump into QuickBooks, you'll see that I can make it so that I can use the data that's in QuickBooks and put it directly in there. Now, what I can do is I can run a report, and under reports, I'm going to go to my profit and loss account. From my profit and loss account, I'm going to do this financial year. And there's a lot of information here, but this is the information that I'm interested in. I've got my total income and my total expenses, and it gives me a operating. Now I'm going to round these figures up and down, but basically I've got 2,600 here and I've got £1,000 there. So let's jump into the Boffix Tax Tips tax calculator. Bit of a mouthful. Should have thought of a better name. But let's jump into that calculator and let's see how that can help. Well, if I answer my questions, let's say I'm a limited company. One of the things I have to do though on this one is I have to say I'm not VAT registered for this particular element to work. Now, in the first version of this quick questions tax calculator, you need to be saying that you're not VAT registered. One of the things we're going to be looking at is at the moment we're on basic calc. We will be adding in the future an opportunity to have a QuickBooks quick calculator just here for us. That's coming soon. For now though, we need to take off the VAT registration. Think about it, in QuickBooks Online, that's already been accounted for us. The VAT has been sorted for us. The only reason it gives us this question here is for people who may not have QuickBooks and may not have that advantage of having their VAT being looked at so well. But I can put in the amounts though, 2,600 and again, £1,000. It can give me 2 numbers here, my corporation tax and my potential dividend. For anyone who's not in the know, there's a potential you could be hit with 2 different tax bills. There's that corporation tax, which comes in 9 months and after a date. There's a corporation tax bill, which will come 9 months after your particular year end. And then there's potential for another tax afterwards, which is going to be your dividend tax. Now, if you're self-employed, don't worry about any of this whatsoever. But what we want to do is at least make sure that we're prepared for that dividend tax. That dividend tax may never come to fruition. It's all about how much money you've had to take out of the business. There's a whole different bit. In fact, there's a whole video on Boffix tax tips explaining that concept. So if you need to, jump over to that channel, give it a like, give it a subscribe, and I'll go in more detail. But for now though, let's use these numbers to our advantage. Let's have a look. Well, let's think about it. We've got a corporation tax figure here and our potential dividend just here. Where can I put that information that's going to make my life easier? If I jump on this dashboard, what I want to be doing is putting it over here. And I'm going to make it really convenient and put it right at the top here. So first of all, let's create that account. To create that, let's do chart of accounts. And I'm going to do new. The key here is I'm going to leave it as a cash and bank in hand. I know it's not that, but trust me on this one. I'm going to do corporation. I'm just going to call it corporation tax as my name. Press save. And I'm going to press new, and I'm going to say dividend. Now, both of these are estimates, so maybe I should really be calling them estimates. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go jump into my dashboard, and from here, I'm just going to make it so they're really prevalent. I'm going to put them at the very top. I've got my corporation tax. Let's put this all the way pretty much to the top. And then I've got my dividend tax. Now, there's various ways where we can interact with his. Most people would press new and go journal entry, and that tends to be how I would include it. But if you're completely new to QuickBooks, don't worry about worrying about journal entries. Let's just use what's in front of us. So corporation tax, I'll click on that figure there, and I'm going to need to add an expense because this is a cost to me, isn't it, this corporation tax. Let's do today's date. And what I need to do is I need to say that how much money do I need to have shown as an estimate? Well, it was £400. So let's stick £400 in here. If you VAT registered, then make sure it's no VAT on there. And then type in corporation tax. And you want to create, if they've not got one, a UK corporation tax expense. That then you can save as accordingly. Now what that's done for you, if I go back to chart of accounts, what's that done for me? And if I go back to dashboard, what that's done is it's created a minus figure here. And that's my running total. I can put my dividend tax in as well. What I would suggest on this one though is because it's not a cost to the business, you don't want it to be shown as a cost. Put it against your director's loan account. All you're doing here is showing a figure that you want to be put in. When it comes to your account, when it comes to doing a set of accounts, this is a number you're just going to put against that director's loan account. This is only for your actual figure that's going in there. It was £100 as per here, look. So now on my dashboard, I've got two figures, £400 there, potential £100 there. They're the two figures I want to be saving. I could merge these two together if I want to, whatever works for me. But basically, they're the two figures I want to be saving. So if one of these was my saving account, I'd want to make sure I'd have enough in here to be able to cover it. Look, I've got £500 there, £500 there. What happens though as things start moving on? Well, at the moment, I did a report, profit and loss account. And from my profit and loss account, I looked at this financial year, didn't I? But if I've got extra bits on here, so imagine I've sold something out. So let's jump into this one. And maybe I've now sold an additional 1,500 save and close. Now, if that's the case, that's great news for me. I'm increasing my profit that I've made. I'm now at 4,100 with only £1,000 worth of expense. And I've got that there. Now, the reason I'm only looking at gross profit for this calculation is so we don't have to worry about UK corporation tax. We can move that out of the way if we need to. But in this one, I'm just going to be looking at this cost of sales figure here. So in this figure, I'm going to update it to 4,100. I'm going to leave that as £1,000. Now, my corporation tax now jumped up to £600 that I need to worry about. So what I've got to remember, if it's £600 that I need to include there, and I've already got £400 showing, then what I want to be doing is add an expense, but this time, again, against my corporation tax UK, this time I want my amount to be £200 because I'm just putting the difference in. When I go back to my dashboard now, the key is that that figure there amounts to what's shown here. So you've got to be careful of how you're putting this information in. Are you doing it cumulative or are you going to do it on a month by month basis? And that's something you're just going to have to understand yourself and put it in here. How can I make this easier on myself? Well, you've got the option, if you edit this transaction, of using the attachments box down here, and you can just take a copy of what this transaction is. That's going to help you going forward. We're going to make sure this Boffix tax tips tax calculator is updated on a regular basis, and you'll notice there'll be extra features in here and stuff that's going to help you make it so that you can go forward on it. And there we have it. There's a nice little breakdown of how you can use the Boffix tax calculator. Really need to change that name. And that gives us an opportunity to use that. Using that calculator means that we can then understand our taxes, meaning that we can then put it into QuickBooks. But what's the use of it? Well, that means every time I log in, I can see what my corporation tax and my dividend tax figures look like. And I should have really updated that dividend tax figure because that's now at £200. So I should really be bringing that. But the other great thing is it's not just there. If I jump into my phone, I can have it showing on there as well. Meaning, no matter where I am, I can have that opportunity to look at that figure and be able to deal with it accordingly. Okay, so how did that help you? Is that something that's actually going to make your life easier? So what do you think? That's a really simple and easy way of getting that tax figure in there and be able to be sensible about saving that money. We can use that information in conjunction with things like our cash flow forecast and items like that. That's going to help us understand how our business is going and truly what money we should be keeping to one side to be able to help against any issues going forward. Let me know below, is that something that you're going to be able to utilize going forward? Do you find that that's going to be something worthwhile? And how much importance will you find if we actually add an element to that tax calculator where you can just bring in your QuickBooks figures and it will do the hard work for you? Let me know in the comments below if that's something that's going to be useful to you. If you've liked this content, then please think about looking at liking and subscribing. At the end of the day, this is exactly what we're doing. We're trying to make it so small businesses just like you feel supported during this time. Hopefully you found this information useful. Drop a like if you did, and think about subscribing if you want future content like this. As always, my name has been Aaron Patrick. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this video for you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Mighty say yeah, 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 yeah. I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, when it's dark. I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want, if you want. I can be a fighter, I can be a fighter if you want. I can be a fighter. That it's real, cause I can get him out of my head. I don't care what we do, everything's feeling new. Even if we stay in bed, my heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah. You know I want him, nah, 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 nah. My heart is saying yeah, 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 yeah.
Hello and thank you for watching that video. What you may not know is this channel that you've watched this video from is part of a wider group. That wider group is called AppleCore Production, and the 3 channels that we have involved are as follows: Aaron Patrick the QuickBooks Chat, Boffix Tax Tip. Finally, we have AppleCore Live and Geeky. All the links and everything are down below in the description, but it really means a lot to us if you can go and give a like to the other channels as well.